What's up, guys? It's Rob here, and today we need to talk about TLRY stock, ticker symbol TLRY. In addition, we'll be talking about some other cannabis companies, but mostly TLRY because they just had their earnings come out today. And if you look at the chart, you can actually see that they had a bit of a bumpy ride in the pre-market. As soon as their earnings came out, they were slightly lower than estimates, right? Estimates were that they would be losing about 5 cents per share, 5.6 cents to be exact, and they actually ended up losing about 8 cents per share. And that did cause an initial dip down that you can see right here. However, they have rebounded since. As soon as market opened, we were dipping a little bit during the first couple of tickers, and then we started moving up and up. And we're actually doing quite well now, right? We're up over 3% on the day. At one point, we were up over 4%. Hopefully, we'll regain those levels. I know a lot of people are interested in these cannabis companies because they do show a lot of potential, especially if we see some kind of legalization. Now, we will also be talking about Sundial, Aurora Cannabis, and Organigram just very briefly to kind of show that they have been experiencing a very similar pattern, almost following on TLRY, right? You can see that in the pre-market, they were taking big dips on TLRY's earnings, and then have actually followed TLRY in suit and began moving up in price throughout the day. So it's basically a move that's been going on throughout the entire cannabis market, and there is a reason for it. There is some news that came out, but first of all, we'll talk about why TLRY, you can see right here on apewisdom.io, is performing very well on Reddit. A lot of people are searching for this stock on Reddit. It's up 112% mention-wise, up to 346 mentions. It's the number 4 talked about stock on Reddit and Wall Street Bets. And if you look on Google Trends, you can see the TLRY, search for TLRY stock. It has reached highs today, highs for the recent past, the past 7 days. It has peaked out at the maximum ranking you can get of 100. A lot of people are searching this, obviously, because of, first of all, the earnings call, right? A lot of people are going to be searching for it just because of that, but also because of a new catalyst that just came out just earlier today, around 10:50, I believe. There is some news that a new bill has been signed. But before I show you that, I will offer you the opportunity to get some free stocks if you want. You can get 2 free stocks valued up to $2,300 on Webull. All you have to do is click the description link in any one of my videos. You get 2 free stocks for signing up for a Webull account. That's just a quick little plug I have for you guys. You can get some free stocks valued up to $2,300 if you want to do that. Now, the bill that we're going to be talking about is the California governor, I believe it's Gavin Newsom, just signed a bill legalizing smokable hemp and the sale of CBD-infused food and drinks. Now, this is a big deal for cannabis companies because it does open up a new market to sell some of their existing products to where they could not before, right? Because the issue with this kind of a situation where cannabis companies are growing hemp and want to sell it in some states in the United States is that a lot of states don't have it legalized, first of all, right? It's because it's different from cannabis legalization. But also, they need to figure out the tax codes for that. So I believe if you read this article, it says stakeholders say they will be working closely with the legislature to advance a tax measure during next year's session. So it doesn't mean that they can actually begin selling this, right? I think it's just legalizing it, and then they'll figure out the taxes in the meantime. But people are going to be able to begin growing this stuff in California for the purpose of selling smokable hemp and infusing products in with hemp. So that's a big plus for TLRY because they do, on the side, produce a lot of hemp as well as cannabis. And that's a good thing. Well, not just for TLRY, but for all the cannabis companies, right? It's a step in the right direction. A lot of people have enjoyed seeing more and more states turn to the side of kind of legalizing more of these substances. In Portland, they decriminalized, I believe, every drug, just about. And, a lot of states are taking a more open-minded approach to these things and letting people make their own choices regarding what substances they consume. So that is a plus for a lot of these cannabis companies because they have been suffering over the past while. If you look at the past year, they have been suffering, not necessarily from their lows, but ever since they did receive a real rally earlier in the year when a bunch of states did end up legalizing cannabis, they have been suffering since then as the realization that, U.S. cannabis legalization on a federal level was not quite where people were thinking it was when the election actually happened, right? A lot of people were thinking when we were seeing this big pump up that we would begin, legalizing cannabis in most states or at a federal level. And unfortunately, that didn't happen. It hasn't happened for the months after this big rally. And that has led to a bit of a decrease in the price of these stocks, as well as the fact that, these were getting pumped up to probably slightly overvalued levels for where the companies were at and what they were actually able to produce at the time. So, it made sense for us to take a little bit of a retracement to back up a little bit. But I do think that when we start to see actual cannabis legalization on a federal level in the US, that will be very good news for these stocks. And these stocks will probably, in my opinion, break these old highs that they have, where they've really pumped up to in the past. I think that we'll probably start seeing new highs, when there's actual concrete news that there is going to be legalization, and more so that they can begin using the banking systems and that people can pay for this stuff with credit cards. I think that will be a big plus to these companies' business models. Now, Tilray, even without legalization at a federal level, has been growing quite a bit. They have increased their net revenues by 43% year over year to 168 million from 117 million just a year ago. So they are rapidly growing their revenues, and this was driven by an increase in their cannabis revenues, right? They increased also their alcohol-related revenues. This was actually because of an acquisition that they did earlier in the year, I believe, maybe November actually, so late last year, of Sweetwater, and they were able to start selling more alcoholic beverages. So they're really expanding their business model outside of just cannabis, and they have a wellness business as well, which produced another 15 million for them. So they are diversifying fairly well. I think that that's a good thing for them to be doing, especially at this stage in their development, right, where cannabis is still illegal federally in the United States. So while they don't have access to that market, they may as well expand their reach into the US with other forms of businesses that are legal there, like alcohol and wellness. So I think that's a good move on their part. Now, if you look at Tilray on Ortex, you can see the short data for this stock is actually it's actually decreased, right? There has been a minus 2% short interest change, and that is minus 2% of the short interest as a percentage of the free float. That's down 2% because obviously, on this news that there are going to be some more legalized hemp products in California, CBD infused food and drink, and the relatively good news that we got in the earnings call, right? Even though we missed expectations for the actual earnings, we saw that they had massive increases in their revenue year over year, as well as, great expansions to their business model. So I do think that, shorts are looking at this stock and saying, that maybe they have shorted it too much, that maybe it's gone down too much over the past year. If you look, that maybe now is the time to get out of their short positions, at least for some of them, right? Or it's only down 2%. That's not the biggest percentage that it could be decreasing by. But I do expect that over time, this stock has been kind of pushed down and down and down, as have a lot of these cannabis companies. And I think that shorts may be realizing that they've pushed them down perhaps a little bit too far. I think that we could begin to see a little bit of a rebound in these stocks, especially if we see more good news like we did just earlier today, and more states legalizing these kinds of things like hemp and CBD infused food and drink, because every step that we take with regard to increasing people's awareness and just the availability of these products, even if they're not cannabis themselves, it does increase people's attitudes. It benefits people's attitudes towards these things. They have a better outlook on other products that are related to these, and they're less likely to be stigmatized by them because they actually see them day to day, right? If they're just at the coffee shop, but they might see a CBD infused coffee and be less likely to look at it like it's some foreign thing that they should that they should shy away from. So I think that this is a really good thing that people are expanding this kind of stuff that they're able to get in different states. California, it's no surprise that they've legalized this, right? California is a very cannabis friendly state, so it does not surprise me that they are one of the states that did this. Obviously we're going to have to wait for other states that are more anti-cannabis to kind of swing the other way. Hopefully we can see some kind of cannabis legalization federally in the relatively near future, right? I'm not sure if it will happen by the end of the year. Probably not, because we are only 2 months away until the end of the year. And it just doesn't seem likely with all the other issues going on in the government, right? The debt ceiling needs to be increased. So there's a lot going on. I don't think cannabis is their number one concern, but hopefully sometime in 2022, we will see that. Now, that's all I have for you guys today on Tilray. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, feel free to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Other than that, have a great day, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.